Alright guys, TacticalRab here and today. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. The latest twist in the tale of the FaZe versus Thieves drama, with Shotzzy figuring out exactly how Cellium did that weird Stairglitch he did on Mercado quite some time ago against Thieves. Drazah wasn't happy at the time. SlasheR though doubles down again, saying that it wasn't a glitch from Cellium's side, and also mentions that one specific pill that he talked about with Drazah a couple of months ago yet again. Very much intrigued to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always, I'd greatly appreciate it. First of all, we've got to discuss that Rokkr versus Subliner series. This shows to me that, okay, maybe Rokkr aren't just home series merchants, but this was a series that I think the Subliners needed to win, at least to keep the World Championship qualification fight interesting, with Vegas coming for Rokkr's spot at the moment. But yeah, Cammy was great map 1, looked like Cold War Cammy again, but after that it fell off a cliff. Now, game 2 was outrageous to me. Subliners went up 5-0, which really can't happen, to be honest, and there were shades of the poor search and destroy that Rokkr had showed previously to the home series on LAN, where they played Florida and Guerrillas, teams you'd expect them to beat anyway, to be perfectly honest, and teams that aren't particularly good. When they played a good team like Subliners, I did expect Subliners to come out on top, but in fairness, the 5-0 advantage that Subliners had in Surge was reminiscent of when Rokkr were getting absolutely bodied in their search and destroy during stage 2, but they went down 5-0, they brought it back to 5-3, and had a 1v2 situation here to close out this round and getting to 5-4, and actually keep the possibility of a full sale alive, which is when you go from 5-0 to 6-5. Now, Bance is not snaking now. Okay, you could say that right now maybe you shouldn't snake because it's morally wrong, but fundamentally everybody does it, and if you're in this situation defending the site, you'd expect Bance to just be snaking it, but he doesn't. He takes the chow, and that means he gets headshot multiplied into Brute Oblivion by Hydra, and then Hydra wins the 1v1 against Fame as well. So, I mean, this was like, you can't really afford to lose this if you're Rokkr. He even shoots bodies accidentally, of course, right at the end there, but Hydra gets the kill, closes it out 6-3, and that was the catalyst for them to win this series. But honestly, watching Rokkr this series, you can tell that there's still some serious problems in this camp as it stands. Like, Fame, I don't really know why he's on the flex, to be honest. This guy was doing a great job on the really fast-paced SMG and challenges. They trialed him, I guess, on the other options, and they thought he was better placed on the flex here. But, I mean, look at this 3-piece that Hydra gets. Okay, congrats to Hydra, got a nice 3-piece. But there wasn't even anyone shooting him in the back. He just got a straight-up 3-piece. Afro goes in first and dies, which, Afro is required to be the entry man for this team, which I think Afro could do an okay job in that role, but I don't think that's Afro's ideal spot. I think Afro's better suited to being a more slaying second SMG and having another fast-paced entry guy, which could, I thought, have been Fame, given what he did in challenges. But they don't want to do that. They want to go for this Afro Bance SMG duo, which I'm still not convinced about that it actually works, to be honest. And then after Afro dies, Fame then, Fame is sitting here thinking, well, I guess I've got to go because I've got Cammy here with me, who's my main AR. So Fame decides to go in way too late. Not really Fame's fault. He's got an AR in hand, but just the spacing here was terrible. He goes down, and then Cammy decides to challenge. He goes down as well. So I think he was a bit weak in fairness. But drawing attach has clearly not solved all their issues in terms of pacing. I think when you look at them try and break hard points here, it wasn't pretty at times. So I mean, Afro got fried this series individually, and I still think Afro's got more in the tank than what he's delivering on the stat side at the moment. He is meant to be their star player, so he's got to deliver more numbers. But fundamentally, I think there's deeper issues than just Afro drawing a 0.7 here and then losing the series. Kismet, though, on the other side was straight up 99 kills, so he played phenomenally well. And yeah, look at these numbers, not pretty for the Minnesota Rokkr at all. Bad series from Afro. Cammy went positive, largely off the back of a pretty good map 1, and he did okay map 4 as well. But yeah, Kiz, Hydra, Skies, all with 1.3s. Priester had a really stinky map 1, but he did bounce back in fairness the rest of the series, and Subliners simply the better team. So this, I think, is good for the league in a way, because it does mean that we have more of a fight for the World Championship spot. Had Rokkr won this and looked pretty good, I think the fight might have been, it's not over yet, of course, but Vegas would have had a hard time catching up. But then winning this series does say that maybe Rokkr are just that home series online merchants, and Shotzzy was giving his thoughts on the matter as well. Now, I wanted to share this clip here from Shotzzy, where he's explaining to Zuma how to do this new glitch which is in play. Cellium has clearly known about this for some time. We'll explain why in a second, and this is why Zuma says, oh, that's how he did it. He has a bit of a revelation moment. So it seems like when you're kind of either crouched or standing up, if you strafe left or right behind a head glitch, your character will squat down further than usual, which gives you angles that you shouldn't really be able to achieve. Now, this is a glitch in the game. It might not be a massive deal, but it is something that, we know that Cellium, when any opportunity is given to him to abuse a game mechanic to his advantage, he's going to take advantage of it. Whether you'd consider this a glitch or not, because especially at the end of the clip, you can see that when you're doing this glitch on that head glitch while crouching, you can still will be killed. Shotzzy still takes him off it clean off, no problem at all. But still, it does raise some questions.
I like that.
Go up against here, okay? And then do not crouch. Don't crouch. Just go left and right until you until you sink. Make sure you don't crouch though. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
What the? Wait, nah, that's trippy. Why does it do that?
I don't know.
Why does it do that? Then you could just keep. You could stay here once you get it. You can stay here.
Yeah. Come hedge cut. Come hedge cut. Like over here.
That is trippy, bro.
They're the same spot. Same spot. Like it's like yeah, somewhere right there to like left. Keep going like left and right.
That's how he did it.
Yeah, go like slow though. Try to go slow. Like crouch. Just crouch. Yeah, yeah.
Crouch?
Yeah. And then try to.
Like
you feeling it? Yeah. Are you feeling it? Yeah. Oh my god.
Wait, yes. I'm feeling it. Hold on. I gotta get back in there. Yeah, we're in there now. Now we're in. We're talking it. Yeah. Can you see me? What does it look like?
Dude, I see your helmet. All I see.
Oh.
Top of your head. Yeah, I'll kill you. Hold up.
Hold on. Wait, can I go lower than this? I don't want to move because then I go back up.
Well, let me see. I'll tell you right now.
Wait, I'm really low now. Now I'm really.
Yeah, like watch. I'll show you how it looks like.
Oh, it's good shots though. Nah, that's cheese, bro. I like that though.
Nah, yeah, make sure y'all use this.
So this is then the explanation as to how Cellium was able to achieve this back in February. There was this game, Drazah versus, well, it was FaZe versus LA Thieves, a spicy rivalry in the league, and Drazah was making his thoughts known. Well-deserved loss for doing this in a match. This is the exact reason why Stairglitching is GA'd right now, and at screenshotting this moment with Cellium on these stairs. Now, you can't usually achieve this angle unless you do what we just saw in the clip that Shotzzy was explaining. So this is why Drazah comes around the corner, sees Cellium's head being so small and thinks Sammy must be glitching in some way, must be a stair glitch. Now, the actual stair glitch itself is when you go prone on a staircase and your head is actually invisible and you can't even be killed. That's a straight up glitch in the game that is effective on, Hotel especially, and also on Embassy as the other one, on that like outside area near the tennis court you can lay down. There's been a bit of dramas about that so far this season. This isn't a stair glitch, it's just a glitch with how you can head glitch, which Cellium discovered to give himself an advantage in this particular gunfight. So at the time, Drazah was getting, this is back in February, we discussed this of course, was talking about the fact that this was a stair glitch. SlasheR says no, it's not stair glitching, he's not laying down. Beans replies, SlasheR comes back as well, he's just crouching, look at the strafe he does, and I guess they were explaining at the time why this wasn't the case, and even Drazah came out and pretty much explains how this is done, and kind of proved to himself that it wasn't the cheating that he thought it was at the time, and that even as SlasheR says, only responding to a little of what I said I see, can't say I'm surprised, and drops the basically the Addy emoji type thing. Here's what the pros do. So fast forward to today and we get to this point, right? So Octane's Burner says, of course, more than likely a Los Angeles Thieves fan. So Cellium was using a movement glitch against LA Thieves. Who would have thought? I'm absolutely shocked. So, this wasn't the stair glitch, but this was a degree of a movement glitch, which I imagine a lot of pros have been aware of for some time. Now, this was the clip that came out. So then SlasheR, any thoughts? SlasheR decides to get in the replies. It's called a head glitch. It's been around Call of Duty forever. I don't know what this guy's trying to do, but he's reaching. And Octane's Burner says, Celly is using an unintended exploit to let his character model sink into the floor, not a normal head glitch. You've been a hypocrite about competitive integrity. And then SlasheR goes, no, you just don't know what you're talking about. I legit provided proof that it was never a glitch and you still believe it was. Where's your proof? 2 + 2 = 5. Can't argue it's stupid. And also, so what Octane's Burner says here is, you're making personal shots on players to try and say they took performance enhancing drugs. So it was interesting. I thought that SlasheR responded to that one and said, I'm not taking personal shots, that's straight up cheating, it's not a personal shot. So, kind of doubling down on that argument as well. And then, SlasheR eventually says, when can you say I was ever okay with this? I'll give you $100. So, I don't know, just a pretty funny turn of events, I thought, but SlasheR kind of doubling down and defending Cellium here from not using, this particular glitch. It's always an interesting one, because SlasheR's always brought up whenever there's like a gentleman's agreement type discussion. But of course, when you're teaming with Cellium, things maybe get a little bit different, right? So I don't know what your thoughts are on that in the comment section, but I just thought it was quite interesting to see that the explanation has finally been revealed, but SlasheR says there's really nothing wrong with this from his perspective, and that therefore Cellium will continue using it, and therefore you can do it to phase up and all that good stuff. Now, speaking of SlasheR, I thought this is kind of awesome from FaZe Con News. They went through, fair play for doing this, they went through all, I mean, first of all, this is a pretty mental number of videos actually, to be fair, since the start of the CDL era, and wrote down, did like a tally of all the times the FaZe players had appeared on those thumbnails. Now, we'll talk about who might be the #1 of all time in a second, regardless of FaZe, but I thought it was remarkable actually that aBeZy and Simp have the same number at exactly 157, despite the fact that they're very rarely on the same thumbnail together, but somehow they're just inseparable here. Cellium at 104, and then SlasheR at 303. Now, I know that SlasheR was replying, being like, damn, you love me on the thumbnails, but SlasheR does get into a lot of stuff, right? You know what I mean? Like, SlasheR replies to a lot of things, he's always an interesting character with his opinions, the SlasheR World League and all this, and most of the time I feel like what he says in the State of the League is pretty bang on the money, and, you know, whenever there's a gentleman's agreement discussion, he's usually on there, and he's in his fair share of drama, so I feel like this number wasn't especially surprising. I actually felt like it might have even been higher than this, but what is that, like 10% of videos that SlasheR's on the thumbnail? Seems about right. I know there was also some discussion here, who's the #1 of all time? I know there was some fella on Reddit who would go through every like CDL season and analyze who had the most thumbnails of the year. I know that in Cold War, I think it was Crim. I don't know if it was Crim last year, but Crim is definitely up near the top of the list, I think, all time. You'd think Scump would be there, right? And Scump is definitely up there. Scump might be #1 of all time CDL era, I'm not sure, but Scump doesn't get into as many dramas as players like Crim6 do, for sure. And Dashy as well, he's been making a comeback. If you take the last 12 months, I'll say Dashy is probably #1 thumbnail appearancer, because he was in so many things that happened, right? With the like he got dropped, then he was coming back, then he was dropped again, then he had the Rambo drama, the bowling thing, then he was not going to come back, then he is coming back, and now he's playing well. So, you know, Dashy's been killing it on the thumbnails the last like 6 months or so, for sure. But I don't know what the all-time record is, so I would be interested to know. Maybe one day I'll go through and actually calculate it all out. Speaking of Thieves, did want to mention this interesting stat from Brian, that LA Thieves, their start to Vanguard and their start to Modern Warfare 2, by the average placings, have been identical. So they were, well, basically the same placings last year as this year, slightly different order. Last year, though, they finished top 4 first at the Pro-Am and then Major 4 champs, respectively. Will it be the same story this year? It's going to be a big ask for them, and if it's not, I think this team wants more than just to stick with this roster again. It's very rare a team lasts more than 2 seasons in the CDL, or really in Call of Duty in general. Speaking of Thieves, though, big match today against Los Angeles Guerrillas. You might think this will be a walk in the park, and I think it should be, but in fairness, in the entire era of the CDL with Los Angeles Guerrillas and Thieves being in the league, this is over the last 3 seasons. From Cold War, from Vanguard, and now into Modern Warfare 2, Guerrillas are 5-0 all time against Thieves. Somehow they just can't beat them for some reason. Now, you know, today, surely Thieves will get the job done, but it's 5-0 so far, so a big storyline to keep your eyes on today. I thought this is also kind of funny last night. The study kind of got wrong his duo Nameless. I thought the picture also kind of looked like Nameless as well, but I don't believe these stats were technically correct. So, okay, the first and third stats are right, but I think this is meant to say Champs Grand Final, maybe, because Nameless was definitely more championships, world championships than just one. So I was confused what this was, because I was like, how did he only make champs once but competed for 9 years? How does that even make sense? So anyway, Study got it wrong, and he was getting roasted for it a fair bit, but even Nameless didn't get it himself. I thought it was pretty entertaining. So these then are the games of today. For some reason, the graphic maker here decided to put Pacific time on all the first 3 matches, and then change to Eastern time for the final one. So, you know, just consider these are the normal times, and it goes first, second, third, and then fourth is this big game, which is also potentially a bounty game. Okay, Ravens versus Legion. To be honest, I like all of these series. I think this is going to be a cracking day of action, because Ravens, Legion, this needs to be a win for Vegas, right? They need to bounce back to what Rokkr have done lately, so they should win this. I think they will win this, but they're going to need to perform, because sometimes Vegas seem to play down to their competition, I think, at times. So they're going to need to win this one. Then Thieves surely will get the better of Guerrillas here, but it's interesting just because of that storyline we mentioned. Then OpTic Subliners. Subliners came off a good win yesterday against the Minnesota Rokkr. I still think that at times, though, like, is Kismet going to play like he did in that series again against OpTic? Possibly, but if he doesn't, I think OpTic will get the better of them. Their respawn is probably too strong right now, and I would favour Subliners in the control, but I'd probably take an OpTic 3-1 or 3-2 here, probably. And then another banging series. I always love it when FaZe play Ultra. That's final game of the day, and this is especially big, right? Okay, this game is definitely a bounty game, because Ultra are 0-2. They kind of need to win this. If they go down again and they start start 0-3, okay, they can still finish 2-3 and they'll probably be okay for winners. But this is a big series for Ultra to try and win. And if FaZe lose, then they're 1-2. So, okay, FaZe love going 3-2 in their qualifiers, but this is a really big series and bigger than I thought it would be, because there's a world in which here Ultra lose and they could start in losers at the majors. That's not out of the realms of possibility. So very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.